Welcome to I Can Science That. Today I'm going to talk about occlusion and refraction and how does occlusion affect refraction. So what are we talking about here? Simply put, refraction and occlusion are two different properties of light and they don't interact. Refraction is the curving of light as it passes through a media. And occlusion is when a beam of light is blocked and cannot make it to the receiver. And these two things are very separate and they don't affect each other directly. As long as we understand those two principles, we should be good. But there are some folks that imagine that these two things are more closely related than that in some way that frankly they cannot explain. But let's look at it and see what it is we're talking about. Recently, there's been this discussion of something called a celestial theodolite, and it's making the rounds in certain flat Earth circles. The main principle behind the celestial theodolite is that only physical objects occlude. And I'm going to say, yeah, okay, I get you there. And the refracted light and image don't occlude. And now I'm starting to get a hint that somebody is confused. That line doesn't make any sense, at least not to me. Here's a quote directly from the celestial theodolite documentation itself, where it says, "Since the occlusion is purely visual, it implies a direct line of sight without needing to account for refraction models." Now, this is wrong, and we'll go into why that is wrong. And then I've covered before a quote from Austin Whitsitt in a slightly different context where he claimed a silhouette can't be refracted. Again, it's talking about a silhouette is the outline of where light has been occluded, and that does not stop refraction. Occlusion does not stop refraction. And so that's what I'm going to talk about today. Here is refraction in the atmosphere. We've seen this before. I don't think there's really any argument that the atmosphere curves light passing through it. I think that we're on the same page here. So here we see a star, and the beam of light coming from the star passes over the top of the mountain and gets to the observer. Now I'd like to make a couple of very solid, very firm points that we're going to agree to, I hope, and we're going to make sure we don't forget them. Number one, in order to see an object, the light must travel from that object to the observer. So if we see this star, there must be some path that this light can follow to get it from that star to the observer. Must have some unobstructed path, as illustrated here by this red line. An unobstructed path from the object to the observer, otherwise you will not be able to see the object. Okay, number two, within the atmosphere, light can travel a curved path. When we're looking shallow, skimming along the horizon, for example, we expect some kind of distortion, and that is a curved path of light. That is what that is. Again, illustrated by this curved red line. So if you agree with those, then we're good. We're going to stick a pin in these. Do not forget, as we move forward, we're not going to violate either of these rules. These rules are rules that we do not violate. Nothing changes this. This is just facts of physics, right? In order to see an object, light must get from the object to you, and within the atmosphere, light can travel in a curved path. We call that refraction. Okay, and I have a little caveat, a little third one on here. Sometimes people refer to various things that they don't like as, oh, that's the effect of human vision, or that's because your eyeballs are round. I've heard that one. I've heard eyeballs are round. I've heard Whitsitt talking about some kind of like hyperbolic vision or something like this. we are not actually talking about human vision. We are using cameras, right? You're filming this event. I'm going to watch the film of your thing. Human eyeballs is not some kind of excuse to get us to violate these rules. So let's don't even bring up human eyeballs, okay? All right, so again, 1 and 2, stick a pin in those. We're not going to forget them. These are the rules. These are the rules of light, and they can't really be, nothing we can do about it. We can't violate those. Okay, so what are we talking about? The star. Here's our star. The light is traveling over the top of the mountain. We observe the light with a camera. We wait a moment, and the star goes down just a little bit, and now the path of light is blocked by the mountain. So here we go. Number 1, light must travel from the object to the observer to see it. This light cannot get to the observer because the mountain is blocking it. It has been occluded. We cannot see it. That's rule number 1. Boom, we followed the rules. We're good. Rule number 2, within the atmosphere, light can travel a curved path. I did not change the curve of the light. The curved path hit the mountain. It's as simple as that. That is that. So, only physical objects occlude. Sure, the physical mountain occluded this beam of light. I cannot see the star because this physical mountain has occluded the physical beam of physical light from the physical star. Absolutely. And here's where this is true as long as we've done the complete thought about the process and not forgotten our rules. This can be true. But then the follow-up. This implies a direct line of sight. No, it does not, because we can't make rule number 2 go away. That doesn't just go away. It's still there. So this light, there is a beam of light that would get to us if that mountain was not in the way. And the path that beam of light is taking is not a straight line. It is a curve because of rule number 2. Within the atmosphere, light can travel a curved path. Let me stress the word can here. It depends on conditions and so forth. I'm leaving room for sometimes maybe it'll take a straight line. I don't know, right? Sometimes at least sometimes it will travel a curved path. Here is, mainstream science says refraction is doing. There is, once again, the exact same star, exact same curved path of light, exact same mountain. It's just going right over the top. What do we see? When we take a picture, what will the picture look like? It's going to look like this beam of light is entering our camera at that angle. This purple line represents the angle that red beam of light enters the camera. And everything along that beam of light will hit the pixel that represents that purple line on the camera. Everything, right? Anything along this red line is a single pixel on the camera, and that where on which pixel that is represented by the purple line. Okay, so the star appears there in the frame, up higher in the frame than it would be if there were no refraction, right? If there was no curve, the star would be down here, but because it's taking a curved path, the star appears in the photo frame up higher. The mountain is also right there, like just below that, and maybe the pixel down from that, right? That is what we see. So when we record the image, we're going to get the image of a star up here, and we're going to get the image of the mountain up here. and they're going to appear to coincide. They're going to appear to be at basically the same pixel, or because it has not been occluded yet, the star is maybe 1 pixel above the top of the mountain. That's the picture that we take. Okay, so where I think this has led to confusion is this is the picture that we take. We take the picture of the purple. What we see in the image is the purple things. We see the star and we see the mountain, and they are lined up. They are at the same pixel, as if there was a perfectly straight beam of light connecting them. And then the star goes down a little bit, right? This is what we see. We see the star go down just a little bit. And now that the star is down a little bit, this perfectly straight beam of light hits the mountain and can't get to us. And this is where, I think this is where the mental shortcut has occurred and confusion has happened. Only physical objects occlude, and this purple mountain is not a physical object. So I think it would be fair to say that the purple mountain cannot block a beam of light. The purple mountain isn't really there, right? It's an illusion, okay? And I think that's what you're trying to say. I'm trying to say that, and I'm like, well, I mean, let's think a little deeper. Let's remember the 2 rules. The 2 rules that we agreed to. To see an object, light must travel from the object to the observer. And I think you're picturing this. But no, that isn't the object that is emitting the light. This is the image we took of the object. The object is down here. The object is still here. And in order to see it, the light must get from here to here. And now you're picturing, well, it's got to be a straight light. But no, it's still in the atmosphere. We didn't move this out of the atmosphere. And so we need to accept that this beam is curved. This is what's really happening. We're not talking about occluding the purple line. We're talking about occluding the red line. The purple line is what we recorded on the film. That's how we observe the red line. But it is the red line that has been blocked. And nobody is arguing with that. Okay, hopefully that helps. Let's summarize. The original statements that I started with. Only physical objects occlude. Sure. The refracted light and image don't occlude. Honestly, I don't really know what that means. The refracted image doesn't occlude anything. The refracted image is the image of the physical object that occluded the physical thing. Next, since the occlusion is purely visual, it implies direct. No, it does not imply a direct line of sight. We can't turn off rule number 2 just because we've invoked rule number 1. They're both rules, right? And a silhouette can't be refracted. Well, of course, that's nonsense. Those are incorrect. Okay, so let's see if we can get it right. The physical light from the star travels along a curved path. That was rule number 2. That is the physical light traveling along a curved path. That physical light is physically blocked by the physical mountain. Right. So that's where I'm saying, yeah, sure, this verbal shortcut here is fine. The physical light is physically blocked by the physical mountain. And nobody is implying that the refracted image is what's doing the occlusion. No, the refracted image didn't do the occluding. The refracted image is the image of the physical mountain, and the physical mountain is doing the occlusion, right? Let's say that again. Nobody is saying the refracted image is causing the occlusion. We are saying the refracted image of the mountain is the image of the physical mountain. that image has been refracted, but we're looking at the physical mountain. It's been refracted, and that has changed its position on the camera. But there was a physical mountain there. And that physical mountain did the occlusion. We are looking at an image of that physical mountain, and that image of the physical mountain has been refracted. It's not the refracted image that did the occlusion. It's a refracted image of the mountain that did the occlusion. Okay, so bottom line here, occlusion does not eliminate refraction. Okay, occluding does not shortcut out rule number 2 that we have refraction. And let me leave you with just this image here, right here. I think this really makes it very, very clear. Decluttered the image. Only physical objects occlude. Sure, it is the physical mountain that is blocking the physical light. That does not mean that this physical light suddenly stops curving and snaps into a straight line the moment that it's not making contact with the camera anymore, right? The camera does not affect the light. The camera only receives the light, right? Records the light that gets to it. What we're talking about is that this beam of light cannot get to the camera because the mountain is physically in the way. That does not mean refraction from the star to the mountain has stopped. There is still atmosphere here. Light traveling through the atmosphere is still refracting. So if you're interested in the celestial theodolite, please understand it is based on this premise that the occlusion of the star causes refraction to stop. And as we've just seen, that is not correct. The entire basis, therefore, of celestial theodolite is false. There's no need to go any further into that. Likewise, for Whitsitt's claims about silhouettes, that silhouettes allow him to simply disregard refraction. No, quite not true. Not true in any way, as we've just seen. As always, please do comment, even if you disagree. Just keep things respectful down there. And I'll see you all in the comment section.